George W. McDaniel, a Charleston historian and the former executive director of Drayton Hall for over 25 years, has written a book that's the first of its kind in the nation. He gathered over 50 interviews from family, friends, and professionals connected with Drayton Hall to help more completely tell its story, the story of the oldest unrestored plantation house in America, still open to the public. McDaniel is here now to talk about his award-winning book, Drayton Hall Stories, A Place and Its People. Welcome.
Good. Glad to be here.
Thank you so much. So first, let's kind of go back to the beginning. You were the executive director of Drayton Hall for over 25 years.
That's right.
What made you want to write a book about all this?
Well, I wanted to record people who knew Drayton Hall, who cared about Drayton Hall, a wide range of people, Drayton descendants to be sure, African-American descendants, but also board members, staff, and architects, engineers, preservationists, educators, tourism leaders like Helen Hill. You look at one place from multiple points of view that I knew as director. I dealt with all these people, and I thought, well, let's do a book rather than just write a history of Drayton Hall. Well, let's hear their perspectives on it, and that's what the book is. So that's what the book is. Everybody gets the same treatment, whether they're Lonnie Bunch, who's secretary of the Smithsonian Institution, he's in there. He was on our board, and he gets the same treatment as Rebecca Campbell, Charlie Drayton. 2,500, 3,000 words. You can read it in one sitting.
Wow!
You can read the interviews in one sitting.
And this spans over time. It's not just 18th century. It's up until today.
18th century, 19th century, 20th century, because history is continuous, and that's what we presented at Drayton Hall too. So it makes sense. It has to do with the site because it's grounded over time, but it's also, I think, for readers, too often historic sites just talk about the 18th century or the 19th century, the period of significance, but Drayton Hall's period of significance is over time, not one segment at a time.
Yeah, and you interviewed over 50 people.
That's right.
Talk to me about that process. That's a lot of people to be interviewing.
Well, it is. I wish I could have done 100. I mean, but I wanted to get a wide range of people. So I talked to Drayton descendants, and there are a number of Drayton descendants here in Charleston and some in New York City and elsewhere. And then, African-American descendants of the enslaved who live there at Drayton Hall. I have recollections from those who lived there in the 1940s and 50s and so forth as tenants there. And then an architect looks at Drayton Hall differently than you and I. So I wanted the architect's point of view, or landscape architect's point of view. And you look at one place from differing points of view, and I was influenced by modern novelists like William Faulkner, Lawrence Durrell, and others who take an incident but look at it from different points of view. And so I did that. I don't talk about that in the book, but that's what I did.
And you must have learned so much talking to all these people. What were some of your biggest takeaways from these interviews?
Well, I guess the biggest takeaway is the affection for the place. I mean, I work there, and I see all the problems and obstacles. And you're trying to do this, trying to do that. But to the person, I didn't meet anybody who talked about a plantation. No, I don't want anything to do with a plantation. They looked at it as an opportunity to tell forthrightly and candidly the points of view. But they really like the place. I mean, there's something about Drayton Hall that's just inspiring, that you want to take care of it, and that's what these people wanted to do. And I guess that was the biggest takeaway was that the affection, maybe not quite the word, maybe affection is right, but and respect for the place, respect for the honesty of our interpretation. We hadn't gussied it up. You see it, as it was over time, and the friendships and family life and so forth. Family life was particularly important among the Draytons, and then the African American descendants. Their family was central.
And that was your biggest takeaway as a writer. But what do you hope the reader takes away when they're reading this?
Well, I hope they take away the same thing. I mean, and I also hope they enjoy the book. I mean, it's a good read, and I spent a lot of time editing. Some of the interviews maybe 10,000 words or 12,000 words, and you get it down to 2,500. But I made a commitment to use their words, not my words, not your words, but what is it they think, and that takes some doing to do. But I enjoyed it, and I think they appreciated the place.
And this is an award-winning book. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, it's won 2 awards from South Carolina. The Sally Professional Award, which is given periodically, not every year, but just periodically. And that's from the South Carolina Archives and History, and then from the Federation of South Carolina Historical Societies Preservation Honor Award as well.
And where can people find it?
Well, they can find it at local bookstores, Bucks and Books, Blue Bicycle, in Mount Pleasant, Barnes and Noble, whatever, and then Amazon and any place, any bookstore local bookstore they can, if they don't have it, they can order it. In Somerville, they can buy it from Main Street Reads. Guerin's Pharmacy sells it in Somerville. Any place they can order it, or they can get it by Amazon, and it's a wonderful holiday gift.
And why would you tell somebody to go and pick up this book?
Because I wrote it.
Besides that.
Well, I think it's you look at one site from different points of view, and it's as you said, it's the first of its kind in the nation. There's no other book. Mount Vernon, I understand, is considering it. Mount Monticello is considering it, but they have they've asked historians or others to write the book and books about them, and they've done that. So you get that one person's point of view. But I thought, no, again, I was influenced by a modern novelist. And so I thought, well, let's look at it from different points of view. And each one has something different to add.
Definitely.
So Helen Hill's a tourism leader. She sees it differently than Glenn Keyes, who's an architect, who sees it differently from Charlie Drayton, who's his family home, and Catherine Braxton.
Definitely. Well, George, thank you so much for being here and for talking about this. Thank you so much, and congrats on all your success.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you.